Hello there, I'm Ant Weiss and I'm a cluster whisperer. And today I'm going to be whispering about the EKS Auto Mode. So yes, it's that time of the year when reInvent comes and AWS releases a bunch of new features, exciting new features. And one of those features is the EKS Auto Mode. It brings a whole bunch of features that make managing our Kubernetes clusters on EKS much easier, brings many of the add-ons that we find ourselves installing to EKS clusters out of the box. So we have the EBS CSI driver, we have the VPC CNI add-on, we have, of course, Core DNS. Yes, we now have managed Karpenter for auto-scaling, so basically no need for cluster autoscaler anymore. And the AWS load balancer controller, so you now have ingresses and load balancer services without any need to install anything. Of course, all this also costs you a little bit extra because the Auto Mode brings its own hardened instances, and as the pricing page here says, it will cost you a little bit more for each type of instance. But what really interested me, beside what the documentation already says, I wanted the actual hands-on experience of taking an actual cluster and converting it to EKS Auto Mode. So I do have a cluster here, it's called Demo. It has these workloads here, so we have Argo City installed. You can see that there's Karpenter installed and there's EBS CSI, and we're running 2 nodes. If I go to compute here, so I have one node group with 2 nodes, because in order to run Karpenter, I need to have nodes already in my cluster. Now, what I do expect is that when I switch to Auto Mode, maybe these nodes will be brought down, maybe the node group will go away, and then Karpenter, the managed Karpenter, will spin up new nodes. We'll see. So first thing first, we go to the Auto Mode switch, we turn on the EKS Auto Mode, and this tells me that I have 4 policies I need to add to my default cluster role so that the EKS Auto Mode can do its job. So let's go to the IAM console. And here's my cluster role. And I need to add the following policies: Amazon EKS block storage policy, Amazon EKS compute policy, Amazon EKS load balancing policy, and Amazon EKS networking policy. The policies have been attached. Go back here. Let's say cancel. And then go and try to enable the Auto Mode again. Okay, I know I've added the policies. For some reason it still keeps showing me that the policies haven't been added. I guess it takes it some time to refresh its data. So we'll pretend that everything is working. We can see here the included capabilities: load balancing, block storage, compute autoscaling, GPU support that comes out of the box, DNS that comes from Core DNS, pod and service networking. The managed Karpenter has 2 built-in node pools that we can choose to use or not choose them if we want to still continue using the node pools we've been using before. And I'm using the node instance role I used to work with before, or I can choose to create a recommended role. Okay, this tells me that my node role should either not exist or have type EC2. I'm guessing this node role that I wanted to use isn't good enough. So let's create a recommended role. Use case, EKS Auto Node. Just click through next, create role, Amazon EKS Auto Node role created. I can refresh, and then here's the role. And also the cluster IAM role is now okay. This still shows that Auto Mode is disabled. The wheel keeps spinning. We'll give it some time. Put the recording on pause right now. So here I am 1 hour later. All of that time my cluster was in that updating mode, and now finally it was released. But the interesting thing is when I go to EKS Auto Mode, it still says disabled. So let's try to enable it once more. Toggle the switch. The capabilities are still included. Cluster IM role is already okay, and we'll do save changes again. We get cluster configuration update in progress. This process may take several minutes. Yes, we already learned that. Okay, I'll stop the recording and wait a little bit more. So after waiting for another half an hour, I realized that there is this update history tab here, and this basically shows that my 2 previous attempts failed. When looking at the update log, I can see that there are no errors beside the fact that it failed. Yeah, and this is the last one. It's still in progress. Now, after looking at that, I realized that the documentation for switching to auto mode on an existing cluster says that I have to upgrade all of these add-ons. My add-ons are not up to date. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to update all of the versions for all of these add-ons, and then hopefully my switch to auto mode will be successful. I wish I could update them all, but looks like there is no option to do that, so I'll have to do it one by one. So now everything is updating. Cluster is updating and all of my add-ons are updating. Well, this is the point where I gave up making that video. You can see in the screenshot that my 3rd update failed, and then I ran another one and that failed too. In the end, I never succeeded enabling EKS Auto Mode on my existing cluster. In the next video, I'll show you how it went when I created a new cluster in EKS Auto Mode using EKS CTL. Heads up, it was much easier to do, much more fun.